And welcome back, class, to another episode of DayZ, or DayZ. I'm going to be giving you a little bit more information about this game right now, as opposed to last time. Right now we are, see at the bottom right hand corner, we are here. We're roughly right around this area right here. I started in Chernarus down here. I spawned actually right around this area right here. I made my way here and I got a couple supplies. And my main goal is heading from Chernarus to this area here, to use this as kind of like a restock area to head to the northeast airfield. I know you can see on the map here's the northwest airfield, but I know you're thinking, Nooby, why don't you just head to the northwest airfield? It's so much closer. What I've heard is there's a lot more bandits over there. If you look on the right hand side, if you haven't played or haven't played lately, or this is your second time watching this video but you haven't played the game, there's new things on the right hand side. There's murders, bandits, and humanity. That's all related to survivor kills right now. Showing more information about actual killing other people. You can see in chat that somebody had negative humanity. So the more people that you kill that are survivors, the more your humanity goes down. We just ran into another zombie in here. There it is. Right here is, I'll show you on the map. I heard about this place. I hadn't found it until just a little bit ago, but I'm going to show you two again. This is actually a military camp right here that you can find military weapons. This is where I got my rifle from. So at the right hand side again, if you see that there's also like a little face right there as well. And the more humans that you kill, the more the little face gets angry at you. So it's more of a reason why you don't want to. I already took in a bathroom break, so we don't need to do that. What we're trying to do is just kind of find some supplies in here. I already came through here just a little bit ago, so there's a chance that we may not find a whole lot. So back to the humanity. So the more people that you kill that are humans, the more humanity is going to go down. And once it eventually reaches a certain point, what's going to happen is your skin is going to change. So you can see mine right now. This is called a PMC skin. What's eventually going to happen if you kill enough human people? Always piss this guy off. You kill enough humans, it's going to change to the KSK skin, which is the German skin, which doesn't look anything like this. It looks like it's called the KSK Scout skin. So we got a couple zombies behind us, and then one right here. Let's go ahead and take these guys out real quick. Alright. Got taken care of those. Okay, here's a chem light, for example. So, chem lights are like flares. So if you haven't played any of the night mission, if you haven't played on a server that's nighttime, I strongly suggest doing so. Nighttime maps is going to give you an experience of where you can hardly see anything. It's just pitch black depending on what server that you join. So if you have a flare, this is about a good example of, so you can see about from here to this pole in front of me. That's as far as you can see when you have a flare out. But the problem with flares is that they can attract zombies. So the chem lights, it gives you off the same amount of light, but it's not going to draw zombies near you. So if you plan on playing on a night map and you're playing on a day map, make sure to stock up on a couple of chem lights before you start heading out. Actually found a Remington shotgun with a flashlight a little bit ago here. I don't think anything is going to be replenished. I don't know if you remember last time, I may have said something about, let's pick up this bandage, about these cans here. These empty cans. You see the soda can, you can also drink those. I remember I said last time about about being able to be near water enough so you can drink water and make sure you can replenish your water supplies. But also, what you can use is these soda cans. Soda cans act just like your water bottle, except you cannot refill the soda cans. It's a one-use item only. So once you use up your water, once you use up your soda can, sorry, you just toss it away. So it acts like a water bottle. If you're in a pinch, you're so far inland like we are. See, there's no... If you're looking at the map, I have a map that I already found. There's no water nearby that we can use. So we'd be in deep, deep trouble. Actually, there's a pond right here. But it's close to that airfield, and we really don't want to get too close to that airfield. There's a lot of player killers or bandits that stay up there. We don't want to get there. We want to try to at least go to the northeast airfield. I just picked this place just a little bit ago. Here's one of the cars that I think you can repair. They disabled them, and I think that you can repair them now. So here's one of the cars. It doesn't look like the other ones. I'm pretty sure that you can just repair that somehow. I wish there was a way that you could actually, like, tell which vehicle you could repair by coming up to it and examining it and then seeing... There's a lot of bodies. And seeing what it needed to repair. So I'm going to give you an example of... we are in Stary Sobor, and you can tell it's Stary Sobor because of the water right there, the water tower. You want to use landmarks as much as possible when you don't have a map. You can also pull up maps on the internet. I suggest it's a good idea to pull up maps on the internet and be able to use the map while you're going, so you can familiarize yourself with where you're going on the map, so you can try to get a good idea of saying, well, okay, I kind of think that I'm here, so there's a town nearby if you're running low on supplies that you can get to. The biggest places that you can go to are along the coast there, where we just got those supplies. I grabbed a ton of painkillers, which is going to pay off in the long run, because you only start with one set of painkillers. So the further you go, if you get hit, your crosshairs, you can kind of see that they're moving around. But when you're in pain, they move around a lot more, and you can't get them to settle down. It happens when you lose too much blood or you take too much damage. So you can tell it's Stary Sobor because of the water tower. You can't see the tower that's over there. I'm kind of looking to see if I can see a deer stand. There's also deer stands around here out in the woods that you can find supplies too. So if you're not near a town and you see a deer stand nearby, you can also... Oh, there's one right there, I think. There's a deer stand right there. So here's an example of a deer stand. You can also tell if there's a deer stand nearby. There he is. So, like a zombie roaming around. You're not near a major city, even though that city's there. You can see that there's a zombie just out wandering around by itself. You think to yourself, well, why is there a zombie running out there? It's because there's this deer stand nearby. There's also small shacks nearby too that you can get into. There's static shacks that you can find, but they don't have any supplies. You want to find ones that are more broken up. It's kind of like a barn that's destroyed, but it's just a small little shack with wooden planks on the sides. I really don't want to upset him. Deer stands can have anything from a body bag inside of it to more supplies. You actually find different sorts of weapons and things like that in a deer stand. I'm going to also suggest keeping your gun out when you climb this. If you have your main weapon with you, you want to hold it out in front of you when you climb the ladder. So there's nothing here really that we can take. I have ammo, but you can't use this. There's a hunting knife. I already have a hunting knife. So if you've ever seen an animal out in the wild just roaming around, if you have a hunting knife, you can kill it. You can actually gut it and take the meat. The meat on them is actually going to give you a lot more health than the food that you have on here. So it's going to give you roughly, I have an example of the meat in my backpack. So here's some raw meat that I have that I collected just a little bit ago. But what it's going to do is it's going to give you a lot more blood back than the cans of beans, sardines, or pasta. Anything that you find like that only gives you just a couple, maybe like 200. The meat's going to be giving you anywhere from, I think it's 1,000 to 2,000. So the more meat that you're carrying, the better off you're going to be. So if you have 5 meat, that's half of your health right there. Because the max health, the max blood that you can have is 12,000. I'm at 7,000 right now, so that's, if I had 5 on me, that's basically, I just got my whole health back. See, there's a small town right there. I believe that's Nooby Sobor. I'm not 100% sure how it's pronounced. My goal right now is, since we stopped here, I replenished my supplies by getting what I needed from here. What I want to do is try to get to this northeast airfield. I know last time I mentioned that there's possible helicopters. Since they fixed the vehicles, I really want to try to get up here and see if we can find a helicopter that we can fly. I think I'm heading the right direction. So they're talking about bandits again in chat. I'm not sure if you can actually read that. But, again, bandits are people that you run into who do not have a PMC skin. This is the PMC skin here. This guy's a little camera shy. He looks away whenever I try to look at his face. But when you run into them, they're gonna have the KSK Scout skin on them. So you're gonna be able to tell right away that it's a survivor and it's not someone you want to stay around. Since they've already killed a couple of people and they have that skin, there's a high possibility, or there's a chance that they're going to end up trying to kill you in return if they spot you. Which is not a good thing. So that's another thing on the right hand side where it says murders and bandit kills and your humanity. I'm not sure what happens when it goes down, but I'm guessing, I know it changes your skin, but I don't know what happens when your humanity goes past 0, when it actually goes into the negative. If you know what happens when it goes down past that point, please feel free to comment and let me know. I've known that if you've seen a lot of these empty cans, I tried using it earlier, but what you can actually do is you can pick it up and throw it, and it'll distract a zombie and pull it away from the position where it's at, away from you, so you can try to at least sneak into where you're trying to get to. But I picked one up and I threw it earlier, but nothing happened, so I'm not sure if it's a bug, or it just wasn't close enough to the zombie for it to hear the can land. Threw it pretty far from the zombie, so I'm not sure if it was just my throwing or actually the zombie not running towards the can. I was kind of excited to see it run towards the can, but it didn't work. We're still running northeast, so we're heading towards the airfield. The further that we get away from the major cities like Chernarus and or Electra, I'm not sure. Pretty sure it's Electro. Let's take a close look. See, the further we get away from Electro and Chernarus, the less chance we're going to be of running into another survivor who's going to end up killing us. The closer that we get to the airfield, the higher the chance it is we're actually going to run into another person who's going to try to kill us. And as we run around here, so there's not a lot of things out here that we can use for a landmark, except there's a possibility that we can use these power lines. So I'm going to get close enough to the power line here. I'm going to pull my map and I'm going to see if I can try to show an example of using a power line to help guide you across. If there's no major landmarks or cities nearby that you can try to kind of guess of where you're at, I'm going to show you how to use power lines as well to try to help you out if you don't have a map and you don't know where you are. through here. So let's go ahead and lay down just in case there's something nearby. So here's Nooby. Should be been heading northeast. Here it is. Here's the power line right here. So we're somewhere around this area. You can see the power line. If we follow this power line here, it curves. It ends up... Where does it end up going to? It ends up in this city here, which is just south of the northeast airfield. So if we followed that power line from here all the way to there, we'd end up being on the south side of that airfield, but I don't necessarily want to do that, because if we keep heading northeast from here, it's going to put us more on a straight shot to getting there. And we're going to run through Gorka, which is another big city. In case we're running low on supplies, we can pick something up there as well. Here's a small dirt road. You also want to be careful if you're running and using major roads as your main transportation as you're trying to get across here. You want to be wary of possible zombies. I've ran into a couple zombies who were just on the road and got attacked by about maybe 6 to 7 of them. So you want to be careful when you run along the road, because you cannot just run into zombies, but there also could be a survivor who is using those roads to help guide them to the next city. Let's see, there's not any deer stands around here either, so I'm not really seeing anything besides the one that we saw earlier. So it kind of gave an example. We found a hunting knife, which is really good, because you can use that to gut the animal and get that meat out, which gives you a lot more blood. But you can also find weapons, night vision goggles, and I think I've heard that you can find a GPS there as well, which... I'll show you an example. If you've never played Arma, or you're thinking about playing it because of this mod, so you can hold shift and you can click. You see this little circle right here? If we had a GPS, it would actually show us the distance of where it is to there, and actually would show it on the map of where we're trying to go to. So it would show us the distance, and it would help us our direction getting there, because you can actually see the marker. So the marker would probably be right in front of us right now as we'd run towards it. Go ahead and take a quick break right here.